Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hey man, that's the crazy coming out of hibernation. Hey man, don't go in a cave in the springtime, is all I gotta say. Look at this, man. Beautiful, very, very beautiful looking guitar from the 1960s. You know what I mean? Other than the fact it's got a big knot here. This is a guitar that I got a little while back. I told you about this big score. I got 10 guitars on the swap meet, or 12 guitars, something like that, for $100. Forget what it was. Crazy. I'm gonna show you a couple of them here and there. You know what I mean? I'll work them in. This is one of them. I figure I work it in because this is a guitar that really sort of, ooh. I've told you this many times, the only guitar I ever destroyed in anger was a 12-string guitar made by Bruno. Bruno Ventura. Bruno from New York, New York. Bruno goes all the way back, he was Martin. When Martin first came to the country, remember I was telling you a story about them dancing in the street with each other's hands in the pocket? Bruno and Martin. Martin and Bruno, they had each other's hand in each other's back pocket. And they're dancing down the street like that in the 1830s. And they got no fight with each other. He touched me in a weird way. I didn't like Bruno after that. And they went their separate ways. Now it's 1830s. Can you believe that? It's crazy. So this is Ventura Bruno, and this is the Royal Artist model. And it's got even got the stamp on there. When you got the stamp, like, this is stamp for Bruno himself. Stamp on there. What does it mean? Nothing to me. V-1600. Got the serial number typed on there. The Royal Artist model's like the good shit. And it's really nice. Tell the rosette's real nice. But the bridge just fucking broke right off and came right there. That looks like be the only thing that's really wrong with it. Other than that, the tuners look nice. The nut is missing. Surprise, surprise, right? But at least they left us the tuners. It's got some nice inlay on the headstock. I'm going to show you that so you can examine it yourself when we look at it together. But this has to be fixed. This is going to be a pain in the neck to get this off. We're going to do it though, and we're going to do it, and we're going to have fun doing it, and we're not going to let our anger at our past experience with that 12-string Bruno affect the way we treat this instrument during his recovery. Because he's in recovery right now. He's definitely had a rough time. Right, buddy? So let's get him on the mend. I'm going to see you on the slab. I'll see you in the lab. And then I'll see you on the gab. And then we're going to play it. And that's it. And you can go about your business. I'm truly appreciative to see you this week. I didn't think you were coming. I thought you were going to start watching that other vlog. You know what I mean? We don't have to watch the other vlog. You know what I mean? How many episodes here? I got 1,000 backlog episodes for you to watch. You want to see about Bruno? Just Google Guitkit Bruno. 4 or 5 other episodes will come up. I promise you. Peace be with you. Flip you around in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So this is like the Bruno redemption episode, man. Can Bruno and I be friends? Can we? Can we make this work, people? See that Bruno stamp I was telling you about? Hey, well, fucking look at Bruno's autograph. Nobody told you to come in here like that. Like the FBI. Look at this. That's real rosette. That's not some water slide bullshit, man. This is definitely the royal master of all disaster. Nice big slab of real rosewood here. You can tell this ain't no paint job. You can see the rosewood grease from deep inside the rainforest. Still oozing out, missing the nut. It's a drag, man. Look at that little inlay, man. Look at that. Now that's special, neighbor. Don't you want to feel it? Tuners look like they're in perfect condition. The made in Japan sticker missing. Missing there. Don't know what happened to it. Don't care. It's beautiful, man. So we got to figure out how we're going to get this off. I think I have one of these, like a perfect, exactly matching thing. And I'm pretty sure I have a nut, or at least a nut blank, so we can make this, into a beautiful thing. And that's what I like to do with you guys. I like to be beautiful. All right, so let's go to the laboratory. There are only 2 things, this and that. Does that say something here? does it say something there? It says 122. See that? 122. 122, man. Now you know. All right. 122. All the ducks in a row, Charles. So let's get this thing into the laboratory. Let's get to work. Here we are in the laboratory. Hopefully feeling welcomed. So, this is the case of maybe a secondary base, man. I think, let me turn the flash on here. There we go. This might have actually been a replacement itself. See that little chip there? It's pretty deep. This like only kind of happens when like you lose a bridge. I mean, I can't think of any other way to get that chip in there. Unless this has been replaced. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Maybe there was an incident. And maybe during the incident, you know what I mean? This like quickly, like, you know what I mean, bent and buckled. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is the original. Who knows? But I can take this original bone. This is real bone out. See that? Put that aside for a second. And I can see here that it was a pretty clean break. Nothing really, you know what I mean, other damage done to whatever's left here. Now, initially there was like an inlaid fancy bridge. You know those kind of classical bridges, you know what I mean, that were like top of the line. This particular model, the 1600, was Bruno's top of the line. It's even got the little signature on there. 1600 was the top of the line. It's got a real rosette. It's got an inlay here. Now, there was like a very similar inlay on the cap of the bridge piece, man. And that's what made it kind of weak. Maybe that's what made it fail. I don't know. I don't really know, man. I'm just talking out my ass. But this is supposedly their top of the line model. In like extremely good condition. It does fetch like, you know, $200, $300, $400, maybe $500, depending on how nice it is. You know what I'm saying? We're talking inflation, so by the time this video airs, 3 days from now, you know what I mean, it might be $700. Who knows? But this is Bruno's top of the line. Not to say that's really important. You know what I mean? They had a serial number, and I'm sure there's somebody who has a book somewhere that can say, you know what I mean, exactly, you know what I mean, the minute this was made. But it looks like to me it was made 1974. You know what I'm saying? The 21st week of 1974. 8. As in, hey, man. You know, I don't know. I mean, really, I don't even know if that is from 1974, but I saw one from 1975 looked just like it, and there was a 7.5 in there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I'm guessing. So this right here has a little like rounding on it. Otherwise, the replacement part, which we have in the Joe, is like the exact same specification size. I mean, I think it might be like a couple millimeters shorter, maybe like a millimeter on each side, possibly. You know what I'm saying? It might be like exactly 1 millimeter shy on each side. But it looks like this was a replacement. You can see there was like one underneath it. That's what I'm thinking, you know what I mean? It looks like it. I don't know. Doesn't matter, you know what I mean? We're going to try to pry this guy off. And see this? You know what's lucky? Is this piece fits like exactly, you know what I mean? Like, so we have like a pretty good thing happening here, man. Never do it one-handed, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm incapacitated. I feel like I'm incapacitated trying to do that. Like, really, I'm like, I can't get it in there. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, take your time. We got 3 hours here in the motel. Yeah, it just tastes so wimpy. Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to go, man. So we're going to have to pry this guy off. Man, there's all kinds of ways, you know what I mean? You can steam it, you can... A lot of the ways that you do it, like sort of like the more water that you expose to this wood, the worse off that you are. I have a little tool. I have a couple of tools. I think I had that here somewhere. I don't know exactly what happened to it. Now that I want to show it to you. It can't be found. Here it is right in my little white drawer down here. This tool I picked up at the swap meet not very long ago, about a year ago. And it's very good. Sort of getting in there and getting down to town and getting down to business. This is very, very sharp on this side and it's very sharp there. So we're gonna like score, I mean, the whole thing around. You know what I mean? Make sure it's like broken free from the paint. And just try to remove this guy. We're gonna want to put some tape around here. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that everything doesn't get all scratched up. Right? So I'll see you once we've began the extraction process, right? And then I'll give you a report then. And then I'll show you a final moment. So this guy got it started, and this big boy's getting it done. Now we're pulling off large chunks. We're just gonna go right down the whole thing. We got it against the wall. I'm against the wall, Paul. Right? You got even a little bit of a hammer. You know what I mean? You get that fucker in there. A little tile scraper. So let's get it off, man. See you in a minute. Alright. Totally gone. I think we were pretty much good. Although right before I put the tape on here, I tried scoring it with that tool and it slipped right when I hit that little chip. You know, I kind of scratches a little piece. I was like, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Never would have happened if I wasn't filming it. So, I'm going to go over this with a piece of real coarse, real coarse sandpaper. Get this glue off. There's some glue right here. But I want, you know what I mean, it to be kind of rough so it adheres. You know, I want to put a lot of glue on here. Right? So let's sand that off and I'll come right back at to you. Alright, so we pull the tape off of it. It looks great. I mean, there's a couple little skiffs up here, right where we saw this one. You know what I mean? But I mean, there's nothing really happened. Nothing really happened, right? So it looks great. So now we see this guy was finished. This guy has to be finished. So let's give this guy right here on the edge here. We'll just want to give him a nice rounding. And then we're going to tape up these holes. And I'll see you outside. And we'll give this guy some nice clear lacquer, right? Clear lacquer on her. So let's smooth this over, right? A nice round over on there. And I'll see you outdoors in the nice crisp autumn breeze. Alright, so we have the perfect round over on the front there. I have 6 of these 3/4 inch little finishing nails stuck in the holes just so they don't get clogged up when we paint it, right? So let's paint it right now. Our friend Mr. Lacure. Shake him up. Shake him up. Right? Shake him up. A mermaid. Yes. Yes. So we'll let it dry out here for about 10 minutes. Bring it inside. I hear a lot of birds migrating south for the winter. Don't want them to leave their duty on my guitar. Their duty to God and country. Alright, so we're out in the garage. Got 2 coats on there. It's just got like a beautiful beaming glossy luster on it. We'll let it cure out here for about 2 hours or so. You know what I mean? We don't want to handle it yet because it's still got a lot of lacquer on it. In between the coats, you're going to want to put a little bit of steel wool but you're going to want to hold it upside down so you don't get any steel wool in the middle in that little crevice there. Right? We're not going to really do too much after we get this thing, you know what I mean? We're going to want to keep that nice glossy luster on there. Kind of match the rest of the instrument. So let's let this dry, I don't know, like I said, about 2-3 hours. I'll see it down back in the lab. So, while we wait for that to dry out, we got some housekeeping to do over here. These frets definitely have seen some action, you know what I mean? I actually took a little, like, tiny, like a tap hammer, and I just sort of tapped down some of the sides because I felt like they're sort of curling up a little bit, like this way, you know what I mean? And now it feels a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, I have a level here. It's got some sandpaper glued onto it for a million years. Now, usually what you want to do is black these up because there's definitely some wear on here, but it's classical wear, so it's not like serious. And we're just going to go up and down. Now, I don't blacken them because I'm pretty good at doing this. I've done this, like, after you've done it like 50, 60 times, you know what I mean? You can see where, you know, where you're hitting the ground and where you're hitting dirt and where you're hitting nothing, you know? So, let's give this guy a good, you know what I mean? Make sure it's even. Round over feels pretty good. Let's go over that again. And let's make these frets, you know, nice for the people. Good, you know, decent job on this, since this is supposedly like top of the line guitar. We want a top of the line experience while we play for you, right? So let's do the frets up real nice, right? Real nice for the people. Hey, Sal, don't photograph that, all right? We had our agreement. See you in a minute. There we go, man. We had some real funky stuff going on up on this area. You know what I'm saying? Lots of, you know what I mean, wonky, high frets, low frets. Everybody fret. But now we have some real flat frets, kind of like railroad tracks. Which, you know what I mean, no big deal. I mean, technically with a classical guitar, even that probably wasn't a big deal. But if Segovia's Ghost comes in here one day and like, hey, let me play your Bruno, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Go up here and be like, easy, phrase it out. I don't know how he talks, man, but I never heard him speak. Or if I have, I don't remember how he speaks. Anyway, this is the tool, man. Fret file. You know what I mean? One side is a little coarse, one side is a little smooth. I'm ready to get these all totally crowned again perfectly. Just with this little guy. Hey, don't film me. Sal told you. Don't film me, asshole. Hey, don't film me. Turn it off, you fucking prick. So now the frets are all great. They're all perfect. They're all, well shaped, crowned. As I feel like they're perfect too. Round over is beautiful. So we're going to clean up this rosewood. It's all dirty. You know what I mean? I don't like to wash my hands when I play the guitar. I like to eat my spaghetti and meatball. And I like to touch my guitar. I made the half a word without washing my hand. Kind of adds up, right? So we're going to take this whole 70s Wilbur lemon oil. Take a little tiny piece of steel wool and just rub it in there. Clean up the rosewood. Clean up the frets. Some of these frets still have a little bit of gunk on it. You know what I mean? This one we just sort of reached out. See how we just grazed it with the block? So it was totally level. And these ones were like kind of like, now they've been reshaped, but they were like real flat. So let's get it all greased up and I'll see you at that pernt, right? At the pernt where we're all greasy after we eat our spaghetti in the meatball. There we go, man. Nice and greased up. We scrubbed that rosewood real well. Rub that oil into that wood. Just rub it in there. Rub it. Cleaned up those beautiful bronze frets. And we'll just let it sit for a half hour. You know what I'm saying? 40 minutes. Then we'll wipe it off and let it dry. And at that point, friend, we'll come back and share more tales. Laughter and love. So it's the next day. Every time we see a little bit of grease sort of pop up back to the surface, you see little tiny little circles of grease come up to the rosewood to wipe it off for the next couple days while we wait for that lacquer to totally cure out. In the meantime, though, we see a couple little chips here in the process. I got an old furniture marker here. This is medium brown. This is the right color. I tested on this little one. You know what I mean? It looks good. So let's go right on this edge here, right on this edge here, and right around here. Clean these up, right? With this guy. I'll see you there. Right? See you in a minute. You see that? Looks like totally inconspicuous, and I'm shining like a light on it. So it's good now. However, this is still not totally dry. I mean, it feels dry. It feels good. It feels like ready to go, but it was only painted yesterday. It's got a very thick coat of lacquer. It still kind of smells like lacquer when you smell it. Pretty strong. So we're going to wait a couple days till the smell isn't, too sharp. And we know that it's kind of cured before we clamp it down there. You know what I'm saying? We just want to do the best we can for the people. We're in no rush. We're taking it light these days, right? So let's, by the magic of the internet, snap our fingers and have 3 or 4 days pass. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And now, Luke, the time has come. You are man. Now look, it's not tacky at all. It doesn't really smell. It's been about 5 days since we lacquered it. 5.5 days. Can you believe it? Time flies, man. So we got some name brand glue. We're going to put it on both this and the bottom liberally, meaning like a lot. And we got a little towel here to wipe it off. We got a very, very flat ruler with a piece of wax paper taped on it. Very, very, very tight. Right? And of course we have our friend, the clamp, man. So let's assemble the whole thing, man. We're gonna let it set for about 5 days too. Might want to put a little piece of that wax paper here too, so we don't get Bruno all fucked up, man. Bruno, I fucked you up, my friend. I'll see you after we're clamped. So we got 2 clamps on there. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down. I got rid of the ruler just to make it easier to sort of clamp the different areas. This is a really redneck way to do it. Got a heavy box of dies on this side. And this guy, we got pushed right down to the wood. You know what I'm saying? It's a clamp. This is going to do a good job. I'm telling you right now. I can almost feel this guitar soaring and back into action, man. So let this set for about, I don't know, 2 days clamped, 3 days unclamped, just to dry. And I'll see you 2 days from now when we're unclamping. We'll take a lurk. Alright, so it's been a good 2.5 days. We're going to take these clamps off. Let it set another 2 or 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Before we put any tension on it, we just want to take a look at it. So I'm going to unclamp it. And I'll come right back at you. There it is, people. Looks good. Looks pretty good. You can see like a lot of glue, but we'll wash that off later. So we're going to let it set for another 2 days. And then I'll come back when we're about to glue this guy on. We'll set that in another day. After we glue that on, clean it up, put some strings on it, and we'll play it for you. So I'll see you in another 2 days. And this will be the topic of discussion then. So another 2 days have passed. Seems like it's dry, right? Strong. We'll just keep those pins in the very end, you know what I mean? You don't want to get anything into the holes. Holy cow, Batman. But I still want to give it a full 5 days. And it hasn't been 5 yet, it's only been 4. So let's talk. Let's squawk a little bit about this, man. A couple of years ago, I needed just one, of these. I saw on the internet for like 10 of them. It was the easiest way to get it. It was like $8.99 from AliExpress. And then there was another one that was like 300 of them for like $12 or something like that, free shipping. I was like, well, maybe another day I'm gonna need another one. You know what I'm saying? Possibly. I'll have an old drawer of 500 of these when I fucking leave this planet. You know what I mean? And it just so happens that I need another one. So good on you, man. Good on you. So now they're gonna find a drawer of like 496. I might sell a couple on eBay. So let's glue it on, clamp it for about a date, one particular date, and that's this date. There's some Gorilla Glue on there, although I could probably just use Crazy Glue and be done with this shit. For some reason, I just don't want it, if it ever comes off or needs to be taken off, like I say, hey man, I want to get a bone one. This is an excellent instrument, man. I can't play with a plastic nut. I need a bone one, and I want to take it off and it's going to like ruin it. Although it never really does. I'm so divided, man. Anyway, I'm going to use the actual old-fashioned wood glue. You know what I mean? And just clamp it. And we'll commiserate together tomorrow. So it's been almost exactly 5 days to the minute that we glued this bridge back down. 2 days clamped, 3 days unclamped. The last day we've had this guy clamped on here. This is always a good thing to use. Old pipe cleaner. That one's got quite a few loads on it, man. Just get this bill out here. I'm going to get it perfect. Just unclamp this. I don't want to do it one-handedly. I want to do it carefully. Got it all precariously stood up on a bunch of solder from the late 40s, man. I don't really use it, because it's like pure, plutonium. See, we're unclamped. Got a couple things to doot. Very nice. So, there's a couple things I want to just point out. It's been like a long time since we put that grease on the fretboard. You can see little pockets, little round circles here, where the grease is kind of leaking out. You see that? There's one right over here. You can see. There's little pockets of like the grease leaking out. So we're going to want to dry that up with a cloth. They'll become fewer and far between as the time goes on, but you can see them like popping up here and there. Grease pockets from that mineral oil. In the meantime, man, we're going to take some old furnish polish. We're going to clean off the rest of this thing. There's not really too much else to do to this, man. So I don't really want to put any wax on this one either. We carefully start pulling these pins out. Now, too, we're not. Oh, see, that comes out pretty easily. We'll just do the rest of them real carefully. I don't like doing stuff on camera anymore because I don't want to fuck anything up. As soon as we have this guy all cleaned up, wiped up, spiffed up, shined up, pin removed, you know what I'm saying? We'll talk about the next step of our journey together. It's almost too much. People are starting to lose control. No. Calm down, man. It's almost Thanksgiving. All right, be thankful for moments like this. Oh, yes. So, part 2 of the low-level, high-level Bruno 70s classic guitars. Extravaganza is starting to come to its close. We have this guy shined up. Just furniture polish, man. It's looking beautiful. I'm not going to put anything else on it. It's like gorgeous. Here's the original bone saddle. We're just going to put that guy right where he belongs. Fits like a damn glove. It's perfect, too. Really, you know what I mean? It is a high-level instrument. Japanese made. You know what I'm saying? Gorgeous, gorgeous classical instrument. So we're going to actually use the same exact strings we used last week. On the cheapy beepy, man. The old Trump special, man. We're going to put these on there. And we're going to see how it sounds. A way to measure it for part 2. You know what I'm saying? For Bruno. You know what I mean? Ventura. So let's check it, man. See at the glamour shots, man. Check it, don't wreck it, man. Look at how beautiful it looks. Gorgeous, man. Just gorgeous, man. Gorgeous. What a beautiful instrument. See you in 1, 2. So there's part 2, man. In a thankful spirit, in a thankful time of year, man. Thankfully here, man. We're thankfully here. Pretty thankful about it? I'm pretty thankful about it. Anyway, I'm glad that this Bruno looks so nice, since it is the nicest one, right? The finest one. I haven't actually brought it up to pitch yet. I'm afraid this bridge, I always get real afraid when I put a new bridge on a guitar that as soon as I bring up the pitch, it's gonna, at least I can take some pictures of it first. Take the glamour shots before we totally bring it up to pitch, but it seemed really nice, seemed solid, real deep, real bassy sort of sound to it. So the best, you know what I'm saying? A little scratched up on the back. It's got a new bridge. You can't really tell though. Looks like it's pretty much, you know what I'm saying? It's got a beautiful, like sort of binding, you know what I mean? It's a gorgeous instrument. So, here it is, man. In the spirit of November, you know what I'm saying? The best. Last week we had the worst, which actually turned out to be an excellent instrument. Oh, it turned out to be an excellent instrument. I'm thankful for being able to express myself. So let's hear it, man. Can we? Can you bend in here and listen to my version? You know what I'm saying? A really solid Bruno excursion. Well, this is another Ventura instrument that I have not put my foot through. And that's the only instrument I've ever destroyed in anger. Is a Bruno Ventura 12 string. Probably top of the line from Japan from the 70s. This is the big one, man. Number 1. Let's put it in gear and see what it sounds like. Ready? And I'll Julie give you a count on this last one too. Get that guy centered for you, man. There it is. That's the big 1600. That's Bruno's top of the line classical guitar from the 70s, folks. This is the big conclusion. The Bruno twofer, man. The toppermost and the bottommost. last week. That trump instrument was a great instrument, but it was like a little instrument. It was 23.5-inch scale. This is like the men's department. This is like a full 26-inch scale. It's a big, big guitar. The big baseball bat neck. It's just gorgeous. I love it. It sounds so clear. It sounds so clean. I've been playing it all afternoon. Luckily, this bridge hasn't moved. It stayed exactly where it should have stayed. I'm so proud. That's always something I worry about. But I've had it up to pitch for at least 6 hours now. I've been playing the shit out of it, jamming on it. I've been playing with a pick, so I've been playing real hard. And it's just great, man. So thank you. That's what one thing I'm thankful for. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for your friendship. You know, Thanksgiving's always been an important holiday to me, sentimental holiday. This year marks the 99th anniversary of my grandfather coming to this country from, you know what I mean, scary Lithuania, you know what I'm saying? Meeting his father for the first time, who came here when he was like 1 year old, and making up money to bring the rest of his family over. That's my father's side, you know what I mean? So God bless you, Grandpa. I hope your spirit, you know what I mean, is happy wherever you are, you know what I mean? Whatever source of light you are. So, also, it's the 160th anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. Abraham Lincoln, peace be with you. And the 160th anniversary of the holiday of Thanksgiving itself. In the cold depth of the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln is like, you know, let's just have a holiday, be thankful for who we have and what we got, you know. Not for what we could have or any kind of little badge or any kind of, you know, something, you know, that Thomas Jefferson once did. This is something that, you know what I mean, is for you, you know, and just to sit down with your family and say, hey, I love you guys. I'm so glad that I know you. You know, that's what Thanksgiving is all about. So 160 years we've been doing that, man. That's an American thing, man. Peace be with you. All over the place. You know, if you don't have any family, go out and get yourself a Swanson dinner, man. You know, we celebrate our thankfulness by murdering every turkey that we can possibly get our hands on. You know, and next year we'll hatch them from babies. Oh, beautiful turkey, here, have some of this, have some of this. And then we're going to cut your head off right before Thanksgiving and be thankful to eat you. We're a messed up race. Anyway, a little personal story. I remember July 4th, 1980 was the last time that my mother gave like me a gift just for me. You know what I mean? After that, it was always a gift for me and a gift for my brother. My brother was born shortly after the 4th of July of the year 1980. Now, at the time, I had this, I think in 1978, actually, I got this disco Mickey Mouse record. It had like Mickey and Minnie dancing like, you know, John Travolta style on the cover. All these like disco cuts inside. My favorite cut was Macho Duck, which was like a copy off of that song Disco Duck. But it had like real Donald Duck on it, you know. It wasn't some fraud. And I wore that record out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had skips in it. Every song. Watch Out for Goofy, I remember, was another favorite. There wasn't one song that it played through anymore. It was so bad. So my mom saw this like Mickey Mouse, God Bless America disc. It had like Mickey Mouse dressed up like Uncle Sam with a big top hat and shit on it. He's like, here you go, this is makeup for that record that you have with all the skips on it. Yes, I brought it home, I have my own record player in my room. I put it on. Horrible. It was the worst record I ever heard. It was terrible. It was like Molly Ringwald, like 11-year-old Molly Ringwald singing like God Bless America all out of tune. It wasn't even like Mickey Mouse on it. It was just horrible. There was only one cut on there I really liked. It was like a men's choir singing the Battle Hymn of the Republic. This is pretty cool. You know, I like this. The rest of this was not good. That was my first experience of being disappointed with the whole album. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. It is true to bend another way they draped about the door. And another down the telephone's whistle. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth goes marching with you, everybody. Be thankful that you have some family. If you don't have any family, man, be thankful that you have a Swanson TV dinner. If you don't have a Swanson TV dinner, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, bro? You fucking bumming, man. Go eat some Halloween candy out of somebody's trash or something, dude. Peace be with you. Next time I see you, it'll be Ant Month. Goodbye, Bruno. Twofer, man. Peace be with you. Abraham Lincoln, rest in peace, man. The rest of you, wash your hands. Be thankful that you have hands. Some people out there don't have fucking hands, bro. Sucks. Peace.